Hey guys, it's Dave. Thank you so much for listening, and make sure you check out our website, www.itsallgoodman.com. Also, we're looking for someone to do our theme song, so click the theme song contest link on the webpage for details. www.itsallgoodman.com.
Shopping at the Walmart short just a couple of beans. There's a George Foreman grill down the back of your blue jeans. They caught you at the checkout, the blue lights blink, only one got a call, cause the others all stink. Better call Saul, better call Saul, better call Saul, oh Saul.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is It's All Good, Man, the Better Call Saul podcast. I'm Brian. As always, I'm here with my co-host Dave. Dave, how the hell are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty excited to get this spin-off podcast going about a spin-off TV show, and I actually have a lot of corrections I think I need to make after rewatching some of the Saul episodes from Breaking Bad.
You were wrong on a lot of stuff.
I was wrong on quite a few things.
I think we were both wrong on quite a bit, but just for the record, I was right about a few things, so we're going to go ahead and we'll get that to in a minute. Dave and I also host a Nothing Important podcast. You can find that at www.nothingimportantpodcast.com. And for all your Better Call Saul news, predictions, and rumors, please make sure to check out calltosaul.com. It's calltosaul.com. All right, Dave, we already touched on it a little bit, but you have some predictions that we made.
Yes.
And
some terrible predictions on my part, apparently.
Well, that was kind of how I wanted to do it, though. When we first started this project, I wanted to make sure that we were as close to the level as the general viewing audience as possible. So the first two episodes, especially that first one, we had no idea anything.
We came into it pretty cold.
Right. And that's what we wanted to do because we wanted to foster participation for our listeners. You know, anybody could tell us we're full of shit or why our theories are terrible in comparison to them. So we just kind of we saw like the basics of what the show was going to be about, and then we just kind of made predictions based off of that.
Yeah, just assuming, what we think, would happen.
And at the time, on the first episode, you hadn't even finished Breaking Bad yet.
No, I hadn't even finished Breaking Bad. I had just started the 5th season, but then I finished it up rather quickly. Mm-hmm. Kind of hard not to, honestly.
Right. And then episode 2, when we recorded last week, our challenge was information as such started to leak out, such as advanced reviews and even some minor spoilers. So as we were doing show prep and such, it was kind of hard to avoid such things. And, we made the decision, let's try to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah. Anytime I see if it's like a spoiler alert, I just kind of avoid the situation, go on to something else, or... I don't want nothing ruined for me because I want my reaction to be the reaction of the casual fan.
Right. Absolutely. And the beauty of that is today I saw on calltosaul.com, there is actually one of the spoilers about who the bad guy was for the going to be for the first episode of Better Call Saul.
Who the bad guy was going to be? Yeah.
Who the reveal is.
Oh, who the reveal is?
Yeah. Remember
so you know?
No.
Because you said, I'm just saying, you said bad guy. You didn't say main character, you said bad guy.
Well, I read it as a villain, but I was going to touch on that just a little bit because who's a villain in Call to Saul? I mean, or Better Call Saul, right? Because like arguably he's a bad guy.
They came out with it. It's a new character. Mm-hmm. I can't even remember his name, honestly, but he's not associated with Breaking Bad at all. The antagonist, the main antagonist, at least for the first show, was a totally new character.
Yeah, so not really a bad guy. I just keep focusing on the word villain, right?
Right.
So like my prediction was the villain would be Hank.
Possibly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because to Saul, Hank would be a villain.
Right.
And I stand by that. I have no idea who it is, but I stand by that it's Hank. Now, we did have a listener, Michael K, made the prediction that the big reveal would be Hank's wife, Marie.
Right.
Which makes sense because they had that weird like B story where she was a shoplifter or
we touched on that in the first episode too, and Hank's dealings with his wife's basically kleptomania, and her basically how she never really owns up to anything.
And I got to be honest, I have no idea what the hell that storyline was about.
Yeah, I don't know. It's some
it just kind of came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it's there just for character development, apparently.
Yeah, Hank's depressed, and his wife steals shit and lies to realtors conducting open houses.
Unless it's just part of the thing is there's not a single character they wanted you to like in that show. Like they had to show everybody's flaws. Mm-hmm. Even like their son, Walt Jr., like when he was bought a car for his birthday, he's like, that's not good enough. He's a spoiled little bitch about it. Mm-hmm. and he's supposed to be like the innocence of the show or whatever.
Right. So, all right. So your prediction was originally
My prediction was it was going to be Crazy 8. For some reason, I thought that he was involved when Saul was involved. I didn't realize basically how early he was killed off and how late Saul came into the show. So I thought they had some kind of connection or something, and I was way off on that. So I'm just going to withdraw the whole Crazy 8 prediction.
all right. Do you have a new prediction?
I still like the Gus angle, but I'm just thinking it kind of has to be Hank or Marie. Like those are two awesome choices, and then I would go with it'd be Jesse, or maybe even Walt's wife somehow. It's just not going to be Walt.
Like Skylar?
Yeah,
Like something pre-Breaking Bad, like Skylar?
yeah, because Ted's a kind of a shady dude. I mean, Ted got her into a lot of trouble, and himself
maybe
into a lot of
Skylar
trouble.
didn't show up for like a court date for a parking ticket or some shit.
Yeah,
But to be like the lamest like criminal storyline ever, like a whole hour. The whole first episode is based around Skylar skipping her bench warrant for unpaid parking tickets. So your official new prediction is?
my official new prediction is that it's going to be. I'm going with Gus.
All right, so
I'm probably way off, but I'm just going to go with Gus. That way, if it is right, I can just be like, I'm a genius.
all right. So your guess is Gus. My guess is I forgot who my own guess was. Oh, my
It was Hank, wasn't it?
yeah, my guess is Hank. And listener Michael K says that it's going to be Marie, Hank's wife, for her shoplifting.
And also big ups and thank you for writing in and giving us predictions.
Yeah, way cool. We actually got a lot of people like writing in and participating, which is exactly what we want from the show. When we started it, we kind of half-assed it a little bit, and kind of came up with the idea that we would be on the same level as the audience and not try to know anything more about it than they do. So, all right, okay, Dave. So your prediction, who the first quote unquote villain is?
It's going to be Gus.
Okay, my prediction is that it's going to be Hank. Listener Michael K says it's going to be Marie because she was a shoplifter. That's Hank's wife. She was shoplifting in some sort of weird
Yeah, she
con
seems
artist
to.
with an incredibly stupid storyline. I have no idea what the hell that was. Just on a side note, that was one of the few things that aggravated me about Breaking Bad. Like the whole time I was just like, what the hell did that storyline have to do with anything?
Yeah, it was just purely character development just to show that I guess she's not perfect.
Yeah. And we're actually recording in the basement apartment of the apartment complex that I live in. And our friend from Nothing Important, Tim, just walked in the door with a case of Miller Lite. How's it going, Tim?
Good evening. And a six-pack of Anti-Hero to get things started.
All right.
That'll
well,
go nicely with the Yingling, which case I'm using as a mic stand right now.
Picture is on Facebook.
The
for
picture's
proof,
on
folks.
Facebook, yes.
All right, Tim. So you kind of came in the middle of the conversation. Are you going to be watching Better Call Saul?
Without a doubt.
Awesome. So me and Dave were discussing how one of the big things that all the previews and such are talking about is how Saul runs into a villain from Breaking Bad. However you want to interpret that word. So who would your guess be who Saul runs into in the first episode?
I think it's going to be one of the meth kingpins that Hank snuffed out, possibly Tuco or even Crazy 8, had you had said, Dave. I just think it's too obvious, and I don't think they're going to try to go anything crazy right off the bat. They're going to go with something comfortable that people can, even the newbie watchers can grab.
Like
a
all the
hold of.
Netflix binge watchers like Dave and I.
Right.
Like,
The binge watchers that remember the most important characters that stood out as like the crazy villains. They're not going to dig deep and try and grab somebody that only the diehards would know.
And that's so one thing that I've noticed is a lot of the articles are talking about how this is going to be a shocking reveal, like it's going to be some crazy thing, but I don't really trust that because everything everybody puts on the internet now is such over the top language. I don't really think it's going to be. So I kind of like Tim's angle where the writers just tell you it's going to be a crazy reveal, but it's going to be like, oh, that kind of makes sense.
that kind of language is kind of what made me think like who the hell would be a big deal, and that's why I thought Hank is because, like I said, they kind of ran into each other and it looked like they've dealt with each other in the past, and maybe that was going to show the genesis of that relationship.
Plus, IMDb credits him for every episode in the series, and we all know he wasn't in every episode of the series.
Who, Hank?
Wink.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Hank.
oh,
IMDb. All right, so we had other predictions, Dave. We talked about kind of the character of Saul and where Jimmy McGill, who is Saul, originally came from. And where did you say?
I said he was going to come from the East Coast, New England area, possibly a Boston suburb, something like that.
My prediction was that he came from the Midwest, possibly someplace like Chicago or Detroit.
Right.
Just because they're both corrupt ass cities. Tim, do you have any predictions before I reveal the correct answer?
I know that you had said in the previous episode that Chicago or Detroit is what you were thinking because of the corruption. I was right in line with you. I forgot what episode, I even forgot what season, where he makes a reference to, I believe it was some sort of law dealing in Chicago.
Ooh, I missed that one.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Good ear, good eye.
That just
I was
stuck,
talking about audio clues.
Right, yeah, where were you on that one, Dave?
Yeah.
that just stuck. I'd have to go back and literally watch every episode to find it, but that just stuck in my head. So he seems like just a greasy Chicago. Fits right in.
And we had a listener wrote in saying he believed that Saul was always from Albuquerque.
Yeah. Well, according to the new trailer by AMC, they put out like it was kind of like kind of things you should know before the series starts type of trailer. Saul is from Cicero, Illinois, just down the road from where we're sitting right now.
Also, the Al Capone's headquarters back in what was that? 1985. Al Capone was around.
Right? Yeah, 1985.
So do I get partial credit because it is a suburb?
Yeah. Well, I could literally drive down my road right here, like
I'm
maybe
just
6 miles. And
trying
be
to
in Cicero,
save face.
But that's good. So actually, Tim, now that you're here, we're actually before the first episode, I'm going to put together a scoreboard where when we make our predictions, we could do right or wrong. And we're going to have some sort of bet on that. So now you're officially on the board as you and I are both 1-0 versus Dave, who is 0-1.
And Cicero is known as the Italian, greasy Italian mob.
Right.
I got a feeling though.
Origins of Chicago.
I do have a feeling one of my predictions is going to be right though because they talk about how it's not some sort of like corporate lawyer that fell from grace. He's kind of working his way up, and my part about he's not going to have a stable living situation. They talk about him sleeping in his office. And
Oh man, that was my
roaming
next
around,
one.
stuff like that.
That was my next prediction.
I'm the king of the segues, dude.
You are. That was great because I was actually going to say I think you and I both lost out on that one because where did you say you thought?
I said like an apartment or some sort of rental, temporary housing.
I thought your prediction was like a hotel or like a
Yeah,
motel.
no, that's what. Yeah, I'm sorry, I meant hotel. I always think
Motel, and then I
confused.
thought it'd be like a Section 8 housing, but you're right. It's actually he's sleeping in his office.
My prediction is that he started off somewhat on the right track. He got involved with, I guess it would be organized crime in one level or another. I'm not exactly going to say how because I have no idea, but I think that at one point he did something that would have cost him his life if he stuck around. So that's why he went to the most remote place at the time in the mid-90s, which
Albuquerque.
whoever would go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, who would look for him. Possibly he was in the witness protection program, but then I don't know, he would still have government ties. Or maybe that's how he knows a lot of these people, because he knows a guy that knows
Guy that knows-
everything.
yeah.
I know a guy who knows a guy, so he could have FBI connections, CIA connections.
And that would explain the whole first meeting with Hank, the little exchange they have there. What does the DEA want with this little prick or whatever? But
Yeah.
he just knew they were DEA just by walking down the hallway.
Right.
You know.
And that also could tie into your prediction, too, where they're kind of selling it as Jimmy McGill's ascension into Saul Goodman. But you hold still that you have a feeling that he was somebody even before he was Jimmy McGill.
Yeah.
So that
I'm
kind of
starting
whole,
to
like-
kind of cool off on that, but I think I just really want that
But
to happen.
think of the name Jimmy McGill. If you're going to make up a character name,
yeah, like
that's like
Jimmy McGill.
well, and that's also, but that also tied into the Boston thing because it's such an Irish name.
Right.
I mean, people from Cicero, they're
just
they're,
sounds
they're
like-
McCloskeys and freaking Polanskis. It's not McGill's.
It sounds like a made up name of some ordinary white dude to blend in.
Right, yeah.
Right, or a staff writer,
Jimmy
on
McGill
a
or
AMC
James
TV
to my
show.
buddies.
Awesome. We talked about also one of the things that are shown too is Sal's first run-in with Mike. Right, he's like a toll attendant. We talked about this a few times. He's a
Yeah,
toll
we're in a
attendant
parking
in a parking
garage,
garage.
and that's actually a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
He just parks his car and
Our listener,
$3.
Our listener Pat Ross wrote us, and he said that he thinks that Mike moved to Albuquerque from Philadelphia to be with his family because remember he's saving money for
Right.
So maybe.
And
I think
it
what
makes
Pat's-
sense with the whole he got out of law enforcement because of one bad situation where he kind of took matters into his own hands. So then, yeah, family in Albuquerque.
Right. I think that's exactly what Pat is getting at.
I like that prediction a lot.
Yeah.
But his character has such a chip on his shoulder. I don't think that he willingly left the law enforcement.
Well, maybe.
That's kind of what I was implying. Like, yeah,
He shot a young minority with a cap gun or some shit.
Well, no, he said he beat a dude not to death, but he put a guy in the hospital with his bare hands or whatever. And
maybe it's one of those things where he caused so much trouble, for such a pain in the ass for the force. You know, kind of caused a black eye to like the police union and such. They kind of gave him a, you know, like
you're going to go take tickets in a parking garage, so he's like, I might as well go to Albuquerque to go do that.
Well, maybe he was just like, maybe they kind of gave him the options, like, look, you're in deep shit, do the right thing. And so maybe he just kind of retired, you know, on his own accord, like stepped down from whatever position he had, and he had family in Albuquerque, and, you know, he moved out there, and that was the first job he got, was working at a parking lot.
Yeah, I think we're actually all on the same page with this one.
Oh, and that background story of him assaulting someone.
It's also his own words.
Physically almost putting someone in the hospital. Do you remember when Hank and his partner were on undercover on the stakeout at the bar, and he got the guy outside and just on the ground beat him to
Mike
a
did?
pulp? No,
Hank
did.
Hank, that's right. It was like he went into a biker bar or something, and like, right? Because he was with
Walter.
He was with his partner. And they went in there looking for information, and they just started kicking ass.
Yeah, and then Hank just walks back in.
He just walks. He put his gun in the car or something, or left his gun or his badge in the car. Just walks back in and just puts this guy in the hospital.
Yeah, just took out all of his frustrations with the meth dealings, basically, on those two losers.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. So that's I guess everybody's official prediction is how Mike kind of ended up how he ended up.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much on the same page with that.
Yeah. And one other thing we talked about foreshadowing last week, and I brought up the theme song and all the different crimes in the theme song. One thing I did forget to mention is it was Junior Brown who performed that song, but Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould, the writers of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, actually wrote the lyrics.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about.
So that would make more sense.
When I was thinking like the real life foreshadowing, like that totally wouldn't surprise me if at some point that those crimes came back up in the show somehow. And I kind of like your idea how it would be very subtle. Like he was just talking on the phone about the guy who has an ice cream truck full of kids. And then he's like, oh, I got to go as somebody walks in the door. You know what I mean? Just like a little Easter egg to catch on to.
Yeah. Tail end of a conversation or
right. Yeah.
Just kids.
Awesome.
That's Tim cracking a beer.
Yeah.
Whoops.
We're professional here.
Let's say, well, if it's nothing else, will set us apart from the other myriad Better Call Saul podcasts that are popping up. It's the fact that we just kind of don't take this shit seriously.
We call those guys
copycats,
posers.
Especially the one that has a guy that worked on the show as host.
Well, I think like the whole feel that we're kind of going for is just, hey, we're a bunch of guys sitting around being nerdy about something we like, you know, and that's kind of like the feel I'd like to get over on the podcast is, you know, we're just a bunch of guys don't take themselves too serious. And
I don't want to get into the whole over analytical, what does everything mean, you know, dissecting things too much.
You mean like The Talking Dead?
I don't listen to it, so I don't know.
I think that's Chris Hardwick. Right?
Yeah, Chris Hardwick does it's not a podcast, it's a show after.
Yeah, exactly like The Talking Dead.
Yeah.
I'm going to edit that so it sounds like I answered your question.
All right, Dave. So before we wrap this up, you have a character list of everybody that's going to be on the show from calltosaul.com, right?
Yeah. I went to calltosaul.com. They got 6 character bios that apparently you should know about. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, starts off with Jimmy McGill / Saul Goodman. And nothing really big there. Mike Ehrmantraut talks about how after a series of dark events he'd keep buried in the past, he got an early retirement from the Philadelphia police force.
Oh, so we were right on that. See, I didn't even know that. So, hey, we were right on that.
Yep, it says he moved.
That was my newborn daughter, Matilda, making an appearance.
He moved there to pursue a quiet life as a grandfather. Mm-hmm. Then you got Michael McKean is going to be Chuck McGill, Jimmy's brother.
Oh.
And that's interesting because he is a partner in a firm, and apparently he's one of those brilliant, super high ideal, high integrity types, which is basically the opposite of Saul
And
Goodman.
he looks like he could be his brother.
Right. But he's got some sort of illness that's kind of make his career decline. So that's going to be an interesting little.
Yeah, I was
route.
on the trailer AMC released things that you need to know before Better Call Saul starts. They talk about how his brother comes down with some ailment that basically makes him house ridden.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. What I don't even know. What do you see? I was going to say, what kind of disease would even do that? But the thing about the writers is they probably pulled some absolutely obscure.
Yeah, or I mean, like MS, something like that. You know,
We'll cut that out. But it was pretty fucking funny.
Anyway, then we got Howard Hamlin, played by Patrick Fabian. He is Chuck's law partner, and probably going to be an antagonist to Saul.
What if that was one of
Doesn't say
Saul's
much
first?
about him.
What if that was one of the first things that triggers Saul's idea that he can make money in an illegitimate way? Is like that partner in the law firm does something, Saul catches him, and then they kind of team up. Like he kind of coerces Saul, like, "Hey, don't tell anybody, and I'll give you a cut of money." And then the light bulb goes off, and it's, "Oh shit! Like I can make money off of people like this."
Yeah,
And then I can minimize my time. Because remember, his whole thing is he tries to stay out of court. He's a lawyer who tries to stay out of court.
But you're also getting me thinking, like, that could be a way to kind of mirror Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's all about Walt's transition, and he kind of brings Jesse along. He mentors Jesse. There's that whole love-hate relationship. You could go that direction with this, too. Like, there's another lawyer that brings Jimmy McGill along to slowly transition into Saul Goodman.
Right.
Or
Something
when he comes here from the witness protection program,
Holding on to that one? Okay. I like it. I like it.
he obviously can only do one thing well. He's an attorney.
Right.
So they put him into this law firm, and either he is going to be the cancer of the law firm, maybe he takes it down, maybe makes these guys his patsy for something, or somehow I'm still holding on to the fact that somehow he testifies or is a witness or wears a wire or something to the government, and that's how he has the rights that he has as far as flying under the radar.
The only thing with that is how casually he could mention that he's Jimmy McGill. Unless it was just with the attorney privilege with his client, because he's just like, yeah, my name's McGill, but I changed it to Saul Goodman. Like, if you're in witness protection, you wouldn't
Right, but
say
if you
that
have the
to somebody.
reputation as a criminal lawyer, like if you know that it's only criminals coming to you because you're a criminal yourself.
No, Jimmy McGill is his new name.
No, it's his old name.
No,
No,
he was Jimmy
no,
McGill.
no.
Okay, I got you.
Jimmy
I got you.
McGill is
I
the
got you.
name given to him by the government.
You're supporting my theory that he was somebody else before Jimmy McGill.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
That's when I said
Okay.
Right on. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Guess what? Remember I said Jimmy McGill's the name that you'd give like
Same
a generic
page.
white dude?
Knuckles? Okay.
Knuckles.
So you're saying the clerk at witness protection chose Jimmy McGill?
It was like at like immigrations in like the 1920s.
all
Like
this crap.
people would come over with complicated last names and they'd be like, "Oh, you're John Smith." And so
Yeah.
he has some like ridiculous like Greek name where it's like 12 syllables long, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're going with Jimmy McGill." You are Jimmy McGill now.
The story is that my last name, they actually chopped Berg off the end of it during the.
So we were talking about how possibly Howard Hamlin, the partner of Chuck McGill, might somehow have some involvement in Jimmy McGill's descent into.
Oh.
Is it a descent into Saul Goodman? Or
I think it's-
ascent? I don't know. But it kind of corrupted him.
I think he
and sent
moved
him on the
laterally.
path. Yeah, pretty much. So
Right?
then,
There's no up or down. It's just like I was a shitball.
no, I'm just kind of a shitball in a different
See-
way that makes more money.
That's not going to get killed by the mob.
Here's a good question, right? We talked about the disappearer. What if he? Remember? What if he? Did we talk about that? Like maybe that's how James McGill became Saul Goodman. It was because okay,
Yeah, when we touched on he might be the most dangerous character, which is pretty actually, I like that thought.
yeah.
So the one female on this list is Kim Wexler, played by Rhea Seahorn.
Is that the secretary?
No, this is
Boo.
a smart, hardworking lawyer with an ambitious 2-year plan. And the fact that they say an ambitious 2-year plan makes me think that she's going to be one of them super,
Sleeper way to the top type.
well, or just screw over anybody, step
Screw
on
everyone
heads,
to the
step
top.
on feet, step on balls if the guys ask her to do it.
Yeah.
kind of a thing. So
I have
yeah,
nothing to add to that. That was just a beautiful exchange.
so she worked for the law firm McGill and Hamlin, and she might be a love interest for Jimmy, but actually, this is your thing about the secretary. It
Right.
may be a past relationship, is what people are thinking about her.
Could that be a younger version of the current secretary back when he first moved to Albuquerque?
Her
Nice.
name's not Kim, though, was it?
His name isn't Saul.
Oh, there you go. What if he causes some
But
sort
her
of
hair color's different. And women never change their hair color.
Okay, I'm sorry. Never mind. I retract.
And, no, honestly, the only thing that surprised me is that she is such a go-getter in the lawyering industry, and
Right, but if
ends
you
up as
do-
a secretary would be a very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you get it mixed up with a character like Saul and he fucks up your world.
You get
then now
blacklisted.
And he's the only person, you're right, blacklisted, or he's the only person you can rely on now. So now what happens? He's still running his criminal enterprise, and the only place you can get a job is as his secretary.
Because you got a pockmark on your resume. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have a resume because, say, if you maybe she did time. 15 years, the way it looks from that picture, because she's old as shit now.
But it's already been said that it's 6 years in the past, so there goes that.
6 years in the past, but you don't know where that's picking up from. That's what I'm saying. They
The
can
end
have
of Breaking
flashbacks.
Bad.
Huh?
No, you said it goes back 6 years before Breaking Bad starts, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
that's
main-
about 12 years.
But there are a lot of time jumps.
Yeah, but that's also about 12 years.
Right, yeah,
Because Breaking Bad
absolutely.
went 5 seasons.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
So, yeah. Well, or was Breaking Bad supposed to take place over 1 year?
No.
No.
I thought the whole first 4 seasons only took place like over a year. When the cancer came back and stuff, it wasn't that long.
But then again, in the last season, when he was
But
up
it
in
jumped forward a year.
yeah, because when he was up in the Northeast, he was in the Northeast for like 10 months.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, they do the 2 birthdays. We talked about that. They
I'm-
do the 2 birthdays in one episode where it jumps forward a year.
I'm going to get torn apart by all the diehards because I'm totally screwed up all the time.
You're actually onto some things, though. I'm glad that you jumped in on this. Yeah. The last character is Nacho Varga, played by Michael Mondo.
Okay.
I'm going to get names.
The Michael Mondo,
Don't jump on
Really?
me for pronunciations.
the baseball player?
If you have any complaints, send it to host@nothingimportantpodcast.com.
Right on.
Not producer or engineer. I don't even know what my email is.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so
Dave.
this is they think is going to be the antagonist. He's a calculating, intelligent criminal, not a kingpin, but he's bright and has the ear of his boss. So he's on the way up. And it says he might be on a collision course with Jimmy that might just take them both down.
I don't like the way he looks. He's got a certain I don't know what about him.
Yeah. So that's the character bios that Mr. Keval Shah of Call to Saul has put together.
Wow. All right. So a lot of characters, a lot of things going on. We're just going to have to wait and see how our predictions are going. We are going to put up the scoreboard, which now Tim is a part of. And those of you listening, please be sure to send us your predictions, comments, theories, any of that. And if they're good, we'll definitely put them on air and we'll discuss them. Just a quick
Even
reminder.
if you agree with us, let us know.
Yeah, if you agree, let us know. If you disagree, let us know. So Sunday, February 8th, the premiere episode of Better Call Saul. We'll be watching it at my place, and we'll be sure we're going to record right afterwards, give the initial thoughts and impressions, and then Monday is the second episode, and we're going to be doing the same thing. So make sure that you're subscribed so you can get the first thoughts and impressions and participate in those episodes as well.
Yeah, and we're going to get the podcast episode up in between the 2 airings of the first 2 episodes.
Right, absolutely.
on
The first episode of Better Call Saul is going to air Sunday evening. Check your local listings. After that, we're recording. It's all good, man. Right after posting it Monday evening, same deal. Show goes on. We're recording and we're posting it, and we definitely want to hear from you. I'm Brian with Dave and our friend Tim. Please make sure to check us out at our page at nothingimportantpodcast.com.
Call us idiots, call us geniuses, whatever. Just call us.
You heard me.